there's our second explanation of how to do the second paper for Introduction to Women's Studies. In some of the Intro to Women's Studies section, there is an analysis of an advertisement, but the images that I chose, we can also call those cultural objects because they are something that gets printed and created for anyone in American culture to look at and enjoy or judge. The cultural objects that I've chosen for this semester are not advertisements. They are editorials or articles from Elle Magazine 2021, October. So before I switch over to the images, here are the directions for the paper. And remember that you're going to apply feminist analysis to write a blog or paper that critiques one of the images, not all of them. So your two choices are in lesson 19 and 20. You have the advertising article by Jean Kilbourne, and you have the article about hair by Ingrid Banks. The second video does have images of Black women's hair, and you might want to apply Ingrid Banks to the images in the second video, just as you could also apply some of Jean Kilbourne's ideas about standards of beauty and advertising to the second video. But please remember, you only choose one of the images in either this or the second video, and you can focus on Jean Kilbourne's argument or Ingrid Banks's argument or Patricia Hill Collins's argument for your evidence. And you can also use a combination of those three and possibly also include Audre Lorde or Kimberly Crenshaw or another person, but make sure you are quoting the argument first and foremost of Jean Kilbourne or Ingrid Banks or Patricia Hill Collins. There are lots of images and examples of critiques of sexist images. If you Google sexist advertisement, there's one that people try to pass off to me all the time of a gigantic torpedo-shaped Burger King sandwich going into a woman's mouth. No, your choices are one picture in one of these two videos. And that is all. So you can choose Patricia Hill Collins for option B. Option A is Banks or Kilbourne. Use those assigned readings to back up the argument you want to make about the image. They offer us great examples of feminist analysis, so you want to borrow their keywords and concepts and cite them to back up what you want to say about the object or the image that you choose. Also, you can find a rubric if you click on the assignment in Blackboard. And for my examples of how to use evidence, I have several examples from Patricia Hill Collins that will also help you understand the longer and more complicated Patricia Hill Collins article. Now, let's look at the images that I chose about advertising. This is from the same issue of the magazine that all of the other images are, but it's a fascinating and intriguing article, I'm being kind of sarcastic here, about the many different uses of Botox, which is a neurotoxin. So you can inject a neurotoxin into your body for all kinds of really cool reasons. They include if you want to tame your nostrils, make your pores appear smaller, tighten your saggy chin, slim down your calves, pump up your lips, loosen your jaw, taper the neck, or stop your palms from sweating too much. Botox is a miracle cure. And amidst this text, we have this image of a woman's body. So you will notice the curves in this woman's body. You'll notice this mole or imperfection. You can see, again, more curving roundness here that we usually see in an image of a model. She is dissected because we don't see her face or the rest of her leg or even her head. So how does this image work within the context of an article about Botox fixing everything that's wrong with you? For example, if you're a woman whose body looks like this woman, who might be a curvy model, but who is still probably even thinner than most American women, even though she is not emaciated and extremely skinny. If you look at this woman's body, will you read this article? Are you supposed to feel that she is beautiful and perfect already, and that's how you want to look? Or are you supposed to feel like, oh yes, I'm the woman who can't show her face because I'm too round, I'm too circular, or too heavy? And right under this image of the woman's body, we have a drug company can't promote or advertise off-label usage. But if a doctor sees a need, because don't we all need to have less sweaty palms or plumper lips or a looser jaw, etc.? Using this drug for cosmetic purposes to perfect the body. And so do you think that this image of the body here is supposed to make us believe that it needs perfecting, or it's also perfect? Then the other example is kind of contrary to Kilbourn's argument, maybe about women's sexuality. We have here a rather elite-looking space. In the background, we have a portrait painting of a man on horseback, and we have these silk gold curtains and a great big other curtain and wainscoting and what might seem to be a mansion. Then we have our woman whose head is shaved, I believe, who's wearing interesting nose jewelry and this strange, very broad-shouldered couture jacket. She's holding a copy of Sigmund Freud Theories of Sex, as well as her Gucci purse. She's holding an SM tool. This is for flogging someone. She is upright. She is holding her purse. She is holding her source of knowledge. She is holding her sex tool. And she is clearly the one in power here. So we have an unusual image of a powerful woman whose body is mostly covered and who we're not really allowed to scrutinize for her beauty. And then next to her, we have the man who she's conquered. I'm quite certain this is a man's body. He's wearing tight pants. He is submitted and bent over, and we can't even see his face here because she has dominated him. So the question about this Gucci advertisement is Jean Kilbourne wrong? Do advertisements now depict powerful women who have sexual control and men who are submissive? Or does the suggestion of SM, sadomasochism, which is kind of her funny hat and her flogging SM sadomasochism tool here, does the suggestion of that alternative sexuality make this seem like for a woman to be powerful, you have to be a pervert, or you have to be a freak, or you have to be outside the norms of heterosexuality and heterosexual gender norms in which the woman is on bottom and she's not flogging the man? Just a kind of complicated image. So using Kilbourne, do you think this is empowering to women? Is she in power, or does it suggest that women with sexual power are SM dominatrix freaks? I think the dog really wants to start barking here, so we might have a little break from me talking. but those are our other selection of images that you can choose from, and let me know what questions you have.